Although everyone thinks that Africa is a poor continent and everybody is poor, the reality is different. This continent is a place of contrast. Despite hundreds of millions of lives in absolute poverty, there are some others who live extremely wealthy lives, and some of those fortunes are full of controversy, corruption, and crime. Are you prepared to dive into the luxurious pool of millionaires of Africa? Here we go. Welcome to Democratic Republic of Congo, the second poorest country in the world and a country with an approximate area of 2.3 million square kilometers, bestowed with rich natural resources. It's dismaying to learn that only a few benefit from its natural resources. Besides being one of the poorest countries on the planet, Congo is also home to the highest proportion of millionaires. While 70% of the population lives on less than $1 a day, 6% are millionaires, entrepreneurs, creators, ex-revolutionary leaders, and missionaries. Many have made affluences amidst chaos. On the streets of Kinshasa, the capital city of Democratic Republic of Congo, you can find many people taking on multiple jobs to get by. Among them are couriers, street sweepers, maggot sellers, bread sellers, and jewelers, while the new profiteers live in the heart of safe, reliable, and deluxe quarters. The poor children of eastern Congo work their fingers to the bone in the coltan mines. The high-rise building of Congo's new upper class, including the country's millionaires, is situated just opposite to the shanty town of fishermen. Uninvited guests are not allowed in. They own multiple cars, and their villas are 24/7 guarded around by police. A young Catholic boy, Fally, who grew up singing in the church choir, could not have imagined in his wildest dreams that one day he will be called the King of Roomba, packed with awards and accustomed to prestigious featurings. The appraised total net worth of Fally is around $20 million as of 2022 through 2023. The total net worth of payments of Fally have been made from his singing businesses, dancing, production businesses, social work, his brand endorsements, business deals, etc. Often named the DiCaprio of Congo, Fally claims to have about every luxury car conceded to man, such as a Lamborghini, a Bentley, a Rolls-Royce, a Mercedes, a Range Rover, and many more which are parked in his luxurious home compound in Kinshasa. Doesn't that sound weird when we remember the sight of shabby, callous-looking children chasing cars and passerby in search of food and money on the streets of Africa? Africa, the mother continent, is geographically divided into almost two equal halves by the equator. But the land is badly asymmetrical when it comes to the economy. It's hard to digest the truth that Africa is a super rich land surrounded by poverty. Though Africa as a region is rich, but her people are poor, which is indeed a paradoxical fact. Of course, a layman who does not know much about the continent must have only heard the words poverty, malnutrition, famine, wars, diseases like Ebola and malaria connected with this land. The image of Africa for them is that of a miserable slums, dehydrated, pot-bellied children with flies buzzing around their faces. Even some scholarly people would at times have a blind spot when it comes to Africa, since The Economist in 2000 labeled Africa the hopeless continent, awarding an immense notoriety in almost all sectors of public life of African people. Aliko Dangote, Africa's richest man, has hung on to his position as the most affluent man in Africa for the 11th year in a row. Despite the slam of the global pandemic on financial assets, Dangote is richer than the second and third richest persons in Africa combined, and his net worth is greater than the GDP of over 15 African countries combined. If Dangote spent $1 million a day, it would take him at least 40 years to spend his whole possessions. According to the calculations of Business Insider Africa, even after giving away at least $1 billion to charity over the years, he still tops the Forbes list of African billionaires 2023. He owns a private plane and a mammoth mansion worth reportedly $30 million. Like Aliko Dangote did, philanthropy is one way of linking the assets of this heterogeneous communities. It will be interesting to know how the millionaires react if they're coaxed to redistribute their fortunes to the acute poor. This question may feel stereotyped, but it deserves a fresh listening for implementing a drastic reduction in the African economic disparity. The CEO of Richemont Swiss luxury watch company, owner of Cartier Montblanc and more, Johan Rupert, with a net worth of $8 billion, is the second wealthiest person in Africa, and South Africa's richest citizen owns his castle in Cape Town, which is worth $2 million. Rupert is a fiercely private person who lives his life as much as possibly away from the limelight. A substantial amount of the Richemont CEO's riches has been spent on motor vehicles. Cars are distinctly one of Rupert's genuine adorations. In fact, his collection of cars is so prodigious and insane that he established the Franschhoek Motor Museum, which is full of his antique collection and consists of more than 200 vehicles. It's shocking to realize the rich flaunt their prosperity in the African continent, where more than a quarter of the world's hungry people live with the highest rate of malnourished people. More than 30% of African children are tortured by growth disorders such as stunting due to their persistent malnutrition. This disease causes physical and mental malfunction in children. Let us know about the life of two other billionaires of Africa. Abdul Samad Rabiu is a Nigerian billionaire, founder of the Chief Executive Officer of BUA, a Nigerian union, and the chairman of the Nigerian Bank of Industry. Among his properties is a house in Gloucester Square in London worth nearly $16 million, and a penthouse at the one and only hotel in Cape Town worth $12.6 million. Abdul rides exorbitant, sumptuous cars including Mercedes-Benz S-Class, Toyota Prado SUV, and Range Rover Sport. Nassif Sawiris is an investor and successor of Egypt's wealthiest family. His most precious virtue is a nearly 6% stake in sportswear maker Adidas. He owns a luxurious home worth $24 million, is an attestation to Sawiris' success, and stands as a reminder of all he has achieved. The exterior of the property is equally as majestic as the interior, with perfectly cropped gardens and an alluring pool area. Total wealth held by Africans is seen growing over the next decade, providing high net worth individuals with more purchasing power to indulge in superfluities. Rich Africans spend most of their wealth in tourist destinations like Cape Town, Umhlanga, Franschhoek, and Kruger Park, where exceptional luxury experience is ensured for the bigwigs. Wilderness safaris, Red Carnation and beyond, sanctuary retreats, Belmont, Virginia Limited Edition, the Royal Portfolio, and Singida are among the in-demand hotel groups for high net worth individuals in Africa. Africa's millionaires and billionaires have also reforged their closets. It's now very common to spot wealthy African embellished in top-class global brands like Louis Vuitton, Paul Smith, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and Dolce & Gabbana. Most of these brands are exclusive stores in Nigeria, Egypt, and Morocco. Do you know that the world's richest child who became a billionaire at the age of 9 is from Africa? Yet he is no one other than the huge Instagram influencer Mohammed Awal Mustafa with 1 million followers. The father of this rich child is Nigerian internet celebrity Ismailia Mustafa. This 9-year-old boy has everything from branded clothes, watches, shoes, and cars, along with the extensive collection of expensive cars, and has his own private jet. As a matter of fact, it disturbs our minds when the dark side of the continent is revealed. According to UNICEF, 1 in 6 children of sub-Saharan Africa is living in extreme poverty, which means they are struggling to survive. This indicates that children are denied access to basic health services, hygiene facilities, and schooling, availability of nutritional foods and safe drinking water, emotional and physical safety, and merest basic housing conditions. The African continent is without a doubt the most resource-copious continent. Resources such as gold, diamond, oil, natural gas, copper, uranium are mined in different parts of the continent. Almost every country in Africa has a huge accumulation of natural resources. Besides all these, Africa is also the poorest continent in the world. Per capita income in African countries among the lowest in the world. The land is still wrestling with extreme disparity and insolvency. Why are the poor still subjected to the disparity even though many are well off and have the power to uplift those who are desperate for help? It's a question that should be reflected in each one of our minds. Although many millionaires are having a super luxurious life, the philanthropic affluent ones out there certainly make our place a lot better. Have you heard about the richest South African tycoon who donated half of his wealth to upgrade the lives of the poor? Yeah, you guessed it right. Patrice Motsepe, South Africa's richest black man and mining magnate who addressed the education and health issues of the needy and underprivileged fellow beings. He's the real epitome of the African culture and tradition which insists on providing assistance and care for the deprived and demeaned members of the community. It's gratifying to notice that South African-born Elon Musk, the passionate entrepreneur behind electric car maker Tesla and rocket company SpaceX, signed the giving pledge assuring to grant at least half of his wealth to charity. Being a father at 10, Musk tweeted that kids started with lots of money usually have much less motivation than those who have nothing. Financial status of parents plays a major role in the upbringings of children. Not about having big-budget houses with lavish interiors or branded vehicles and clothes. What the people of Africa need is the basic access to primary education, sanitation, nutrition, and shelter. Analyzing the asymmetrical economy of the African continent, we can see that there is a lack of knowledge among the natives on how to convert the resources of the land into money. What makes things worse is the majority of the rich are unaware of ethical consumerism. Wrapping it up with a note of Congolese Nandis who live in extreme poverty but take pride in buying expensive branded clothing. Their recognition on the streets as a fashionable, most sophisticated men are more important than where they live. Whether they borrow, steal, or collect loans, their poverty and financial inconvenience will always be concealed underneath the rich clothes they wear. The multi-layered African community is one of the best catalogs humanity can look upon to renovate ourselves. Economical imbalance is something that needs immediate attention and a quick fix. And that's pretty much it for today's video. Please share with us your thoughts in the comment section. Do subscribe to our channel for more such informative videos. Bye for now.